Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, I always like to finish the day with something light or, amusing and things like that with a story. And as this is the last of the long forms of the day, it's also the opportunity I take to ask you to hit that subscribe button. The channel's growing marvellously. It's all thanks to the people like you. So if you are yet to subscribe, do it now. It is absolutely vital. So many stories, so many things happening. And of course, we have the election coming up, which will be no end of open amusement, I think. Now, this story is wonderful in its conception. Humza Yousaf is a bear of very little brains, as we know, but every now and again, the little glowing embers inside his head, a little spark will fly into life, a little flame will flutter up, and in it comes some coalescence of a thought. Not much of one. The last time he had something like that, he proposed the council tax freeze. We'll see how bad that turned out for him. But he's had another one. And this one, I promise you, is startling. It will make you laugh. It will give you an indication of what truly goes on inside this man's head. And you just know that at the moment he's proposed it, it's going to be... Well, it'll never happen. Put it this way, it'll never happen. If he tries to push it through, it's going to fail spectacularly. He's living in a realm of make-believe. Here goes. Now, as you see, this comes from The National. So you know they're going to be very kind to Humza Yousaf, very supportive. But honestly, seriously, no. Humza Yousaf is open to implementing tunnels between Scottish islands. I'm going to say this, if you got on a boat and it runs into trouble, you can jump off the boat, get in a lifeboat, get a life raft, something like that, even just a rubber ring and a float aid or something, and you go. In a tunnel, not so much. I don't like the idea of tunnels because there's nowhere to escape to. That's number one. Secondly, given how badly everything, and I mean literally everything that to do with the SNP has been, would you use a tunnel that the SNP have had any input in? Because you know they can't just say to a contractor, go build me a tunnel. They have to say to the contractor, go build me a tunnel, and then every 5 minutes I'm going to come in and I'm going to micromanage this, and we want that there and we want this there, and well, that's got to be there. And you know with all that, these people aren't engineers or anything, and what's finished will be an absolute death trap. And how much do you think it's going to cost? Oh, we'll quote you, Mr. Yousaf, £3 billion. How much is it actually going to cost? £35 billion. How long will it take you? Oh, we can do this in 4 years. How long is it actually going to take? 50, maybe 60. Because that's what happens when the when the SNP get involved in any kind of major engineering project. It's going to take 100 years to do the A9. That's just a bloody road. Never mind a tunnel. The man is delusional. First Minister Humza Yousaf is open to discussing building undersea tunnels between Scottish islands. Under the sea, you know. He's been watching too many Disney films, hasn't he? On a trip shadowing the First Minister in the Scottish Highlands and the Isle of Lewis last week, the National quizzed Yousaf while on the motor vessel Loch Seaforth about whether he could ever see tunnels being introduced as an alternative to ferries to link different islands. That said, you'll probably get the tunnel quicker than you'll get the Glen Sannox. Last November, a delegation of Scottish MPs, including Nahealan Anania's Angus MacNeil, travelled to the Faroe Islands to get a glimpse of the newest tunnel there, a 10.2 kilometre, about 6 miles or so, route linking the main island of Stramoy with Sandoy to the south, which cost roughly 9.8 million per kilometres. I don't believe that. I think that cannot be right. You've done that for 100 million. The SNP wouldn't do it for 100 million, but then the SNP would be interfering every 5 minutes, wouldn't they? Anyway, MacNeil said he hoped the trip would point Scottish focus towards the huge benefits of island tunnels, which have cut travel times significantly in the Faroes at a fraction of the cost of HS2, because it's only a car tunnel, isn't it? McNeil said just done that. He said when asked whether he would support the idea, Yousaf said the government were open to it, but warned of severe budget constraints as ministers try and pile energy into new vessels. They're concentrating on these vessels. Now, it's taken 128 years or something to get a ferry built. It's going to take quite literally, it may well take 100 years to get the A9 duelled. It's going to take 30 years to get 2 ferries built. The 2 they've got more or less have to be scrapped and started again. They're already obsolete. They're already rusting hulks. They're never going to sail. They'll sail once, straight out the shipyard, straight into the scrap heap. That's it. There's no more ferry building on the Clyde. There's no more shipbuilding on the Clyde. So it's a joke. This is what these people have done. And if they think they're going to be able to go and dig a tunnel to wherever you want, think again. Anyway, he said, we've told the National, he said, we've always been open as a government to fixed links. It's a legitimate question, but we're discussing this at a time when the UK government has now cut our capital budget by 1.3 billion. No, it hasn't. That's clearly a lie, because they don't give you budgets, they give you money. You choose to spend the money on other things. You've just had the biggest settlement in history. So cut the cod about cutting numbers. They don't give you the numbers and say, this is for your NHS, this is for this, this is for this, this is for this. They just go, right, there's your money, spend it how you like. He says, our capital budget is really constrained. It's not, that's a lie. And we're definitely open to conversations about fixed links, and a number of island communities are working on feasibility studies. Better off with bridges. There's other European countries that have done it very well. The Faroe Islands are probably the standout. He says we're always up for that discussion, but at the moment we're putting a lot of our capital infrastructure into the building of new vessels by 2026. You need to go to Holland. They have got this marvellous thing that starts as a bridge, turns into a tunnel, comes back up as a bridge, and then you come off. The reason they do it that way is so that ships can go across the top. And it is genius. Anyway, the Shetland Islands Council last September said that talks to connect a number of the islands with subsea tunnels were at an advanced stage. Councillors are proposing 4 tunnels to be built, from the mainland to Yell, Yell to Unst, mainland to Walsey, and mainland to Bressie. Shetland is served by ferries, but the average age of the vessels is 30 years, 6 years older than the average time in service of CalMax. In September, the island's political leader Emma MacDonald said that a solution to inter-island travel problems simply has to be found, and soon. Well, yes, but it isn't, though, is it? Can you imagine anything built with that man's hands on it? Collapse on day one. Everybody will drown. It will sink beneath its own weight of money. It will be late, over budget, unsafe, and nobody would dare use it. I wouldn't trust him to be involved with anything. Coming up. What is truly astonishing about the man is that he thinks this is viable. They haven't got enough money. They can't run an NHS. They haven't got enough for policemen. They haven't got enough for anything. And he thinks he's going to spend billions of pounds digging tunnels between islands and onto the mainland. Tunnels that nobody would really want to be using because it's the SNP got involved. They've been doing it on the cheapest possible design, and you don't go into buildings like that. It's effectively a building. You don't go into a structure like that that's been done on the cheapest design. You want it over-engineered. You want it to be not just safe, but triple safe. You want lockouts, cutouts. You want collapse points, saviour points. Huge amount of engineering involved. Not according to him. We can get that done. Yeah. A lot of it will depend on what kind of soil you got. The costs will be completely out off the scale because the contractors know, I'll just put a quote in, get it, and then as soon as they get it, they'll start putting it up. And Dumza will just carry on paying because he daren't not. Having gone for it, he can't be shown to be, hang on a minute, lads, this is getting out of hand. I don't want to step back on it because otherwise I'll look stupid. He'll commit Scotland to 100 years of debt simply so he can have a tunnel named after him. Well, as long as he's buried in the foundations like, Jimmy Hoffa, who cares? Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a good long day. I'm off to go and do some chores now. My wife has left me the usual daily list, and I'm going to go and work my way through them. Some of them. I ain't going to get it finished. Anyway, till later. Till tomorrow. Stay safe, stay well, and keep an eye out for the shorts. They're coming. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you, and good evening. Bye.